What's up, everyone? Welcome to Super Taste Buds. This is Juan. I'll be the only host this time, but this time we have something special. The holiday is around the corner, so stay tuned.
Super Taste Buds.
Alright, so in this episode we're making what we call sandwichitos de mezcla. That is a typical and very famous Puerto Rican snack. And it's really cool, simple to make, perfect for the holidays, birthday parties, weddings, regular parties, anything. And here are the things that you will need: red pepper. You can use Cheese Whiz or anything like that, but in my case, Cheese Whiz was a little bit expensive. It was about $5, so I got imitation instead. Cheese dip. We're gonna use that, and of course, you can use Spam, but I went the cheaper way and got this one instead. But it's it's the same thing basically. So we're gonna try a little bit of a non-traditional way. Reason why is because I will add a little tiny bit of diced tomatoes. That's the only difference. Everything else pretty much the same. Stay tuned and check this out. Alright, so here we are. I opened the can right there, and this one I did pop it open as well. So first things first, get this a little ready right there. Get that ready and you'll see what I'm gonna do with it. Next, we're gonna cut this. I'm gonna try to use as much of this as possible. Reason why is because I'm gonna use half or maybe even more than half of this and the whole can of the meats right here. Okay, so here we have it. You just gotta basically dice the red pepper. Just make sure you don't have the seeds in there. It doesn't matter how big the chunks are because they will be shredded soon. But yeah, they can be different sizes. It doesn't matter. Just don't get any seeds in it. So the next step right now will be adding those to the pan together with a little tiny bit of tomatoes. If I can only find, there it is. There you go. I'm gonna use some of this right here. Nothing too messy, nothing, it doesn't have to be all special. It is special, but it doesn't have to be extra, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna do this right here. And I'm onto that. I'm going to cook them for a little bit, just enough so they get softer. They don't have to be extremely soft or anything, but just enough to get them a little bit softer. Let's see. What's next? The tomatoes. It's already starting to smell pretty good. I'm just going to stir this up with the knife. And like I said, I'm going to put a tiny bit of tomatoes. It doesn't have to be a big deal. I would say about a spoon worth of diced tomatoes. There we go. You can also get some of that juice in there. Alright. I'm making a mess right now. Alright, so now we're gonna stir that up for a while. Okay, and we're gonna add a little tiny bit of garlic powder if I can find some. If not, it's okay. You can add a tiny bit of salt and a tiny bit of pepper. Maybe a little bit more salt. That's it. Alright, and then we continue stirring this a little bit just to mix in the flavors. Like I said, it doesn't have to be extremely small pieces. It's just for them to get a little bit softer. I mean, once you cook them a little bit, they usually get softer, so it's easier to blend, and you'll see why. Alright, and while this cooks right here, we're gonna go on to another thing, which is the meat, which is, I mean, what we call jamonilla. Jamonilla is basically the luncheon loaf meat, aka Spam. And yes, I do speak Spanish, just so everyone knows. Puerto Rico is basically my second home. I was raised there most of my life, and I learned a lot of things. And the cooking, I'm telling you right now, is awesome. The food is awesome, and I'm glad I'm actually sharing this with you guys right now. So let's get to the meat. Alright, so this is a little bit hard to take out. It doesn't matter, you can use the same thing right there as you used to chop up the red peppers. Reason why is because, I mean, it gives a little bit even flavor with the juices right there, so that's pretty good. It's a little bit hard to take this out, but it's doable. Alright, so the ham is out, or the Spam. So now we're gonna dice it. I'm trying to hold the camera while doing this at the same time. And once again, it doesn't have to be really small size. It can actually, let me switch the camera to my other hand. Just about that size is actually pretty good. So I mean, you can dice them all up. There you go. You see how they fall down like that. Okay. And then going back on this, I did add a little bit of water. Reason why, it actually helps with softening the red peppers. As you can tell, it's actually getting a little bit squishier now, which is actually pretty good because it was hard, especially since it was in the fridge. Alright, so now we're back on this right here. Stir it a little bit more. It's almost done. If you have the red peppers, if you get it straight from the fridge, This should be soft within about 7 minutes or so. If not, about 5 minutes. We'll let that cooking right there. So another thing I did was I grabbed a spoon for the cheese, which will be coming up soon. Now, the cheese I got was about $4, but it is the 16 ounce. So that's actually pretty good. I mean, considering the one that was half the size was $5. So sometimes non-brand works, or the cheaper imitation brand of, you know, what you're cooking with. These are getting a little bit softer. You can tell right there. They were literally hard. They were, you know, cold. So bring it there a couple more minutes as the water is dissolving. As you can tell, it's making a little bit of a juice, which is always good. Might actually add that as well. All right. So we go right here to the blender. Could be any traditional blender, you know, any blender works. And we're gonna start adding these right here. I did wash my hands, by the way. We're gonna add these. This is the first thing we're gonna add onto there. There you go. And we're gonna continue that until we add the whole can. Alright, so that's the whole can right there. It actually turns out to be quite a lot, but it's okay because we will be making a lot. And the good thing about this is that you can still, you know, put it in the refrigerator and just leave it there until you need to use it. Doesn't expire quickly or anything. Alright, so these peppers are just about ready. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. Okay. And I'm going to add them to the meat right there. Okay. Alright, so the next step right now is the cheese. So cheese is kind of hard because, I mean, you got to stir it a little bit. Alright, so I have the cheese right there. And one more thing, before I add the cheese, there's one more thing we need to add. A little bit of milk. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna add about 1/3 cup. Just to make things a little bit easier to blend. Alright, and then we start adding the cheese. The cheese is a little bit of a time-consuming part of this, but it's okay. I mean, the cheese is a great part of this. It's actually one of the main parts of this. Alright, so I decided to add the whole can or the whole jar of cheese. It's actually looking pretty decent so far. And now the process of blending. So if everything goes good, this should be getting a pinkish orange color to it. I'm gonna go little by little and see how it works. I give it a little bit of a help from the top to push the cheese a little more down so it can blend better. I'm gonna use that same spoon. Alright, let's see now. This should help it a lot better. As you can tell, it's getting that color, nice pinkish orange color. It's always good. Alright, so now it's all done. So now for my favorite part, serving and eating. So you get 2 loaves of bread right here. 2 slices. Alright. There's that nice pinkish orange color. Beautiful. Alright. So, good consistency right there. It's nice. Not too liquidy, not too thick. If you want it a little bit thicker, just add less milk and a little bit less cheese. Other than that, put it on the bread. Right, nice right there. You can see the tiny parts of the red pepper, which is always good. Okay, so the traditional way is you put it right here, put the other bread slice right there, and now the traditional way to cut it is actually in triangles. You can do it in squares, so you can go this way and this way, but I will go the traditional way, which is triangular. There you go. This way. And once again, these are awesome for party favors. If you need like a snack or anything, these are really great and fairly cheap to make as well. I mean, you have all that, which means just one portion or one jar of this right here should last you, I don't know, for like maybe 20 or 30 sandwiches. Times that by 4 when you cut them into the 4 pieces. So it's a great thing for parties and birthday parties, holidays, and all that stuff. It's really great. Really, really great. Alright, so now I'll be tasting one of these. Of course, this is Super Taste Buds. Reminds me of Puerto Rico. Really good. Highly recommended. Awesome. Enjoy.